Good morning, Mom Squad. I'm up and I decided to let you guys get ready with me for my day this morning. So y'all have saw this routine before. I'm just spreading up my bed. It really don't be messed up too much because I don't think I sleep too bad. Really, I don't be all over the bed or whatever. So I just wanted you guys to get ready with me this morning. It's Friday. I'm feeling pretty good, energetic. Y'all might see Leisha this morning because she'll come here in the mornings now and do her little stuff. But yeah, I'm just getting my day started. Today I get a little pampering because it's my nail Friday. I get my nails done today, so I love that, of course. Getting my nails done. And this is the bed. This is as good as it's gonna get. I am, of course, working today because it's Friday. So I have to work. Bills to pay, things to do, people to see. Actually, nobody to see. Well, yes, I do see people. I see people virtually. But I am up, starting my day. And again, happy Friday. It's Friday. There's so many things to be blessed about in your life. If you can't pull out nothing, try to. Because we are all so blessed to just wake up, feet touch the ground, if we're able to walk, talk, and also think, have a stable mind, and things like that. I'm about to move y'all in here because I'm about to do my hygiene as well. I need to come and get you guys. I got you just locked up, but I'm about to come and get you. And bring you in here with me. But yeah, let me bring y'all in here. Set you right here, I guess. Let me see. How's that gonna do? Perfect. Oh, let me fix my trash can. This ain't nobody but that little girl of mine. She'll do stuff and just leave it like every other child in the world. Is this good? Yeah, yeah. Is that better? No, I think this way is better. Okay. But yeah, I wanted to talk to y'all about something because I always want to talk about something. But it's early in the morning right now. I'm just doing normal routine that I always do. Um, I was up again early at 4 with God. As I am most nights. Okay, but what I was saying is I was up with God last night and in the morning just praying and talking to him and all of those things that I do. I need to refill that obviously. What I do with him in the morning time, and it's very, very intimate, and I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for the relationship that I now have with God because I see things a lot clearer, and he also allows me to question things. And sometimes, made a mess on this mirror. Sometimes we think we know what we need, and it's not always what we need. And then I also say, God will tell us that certain people need to be in our life, or they're meant to be in our life. But then you also have that, everybody has free will. So God can design it to be a certain way. But if you choose not to walk with God, then that doesn't have to be, especially if it's not healthy. And I think that's what a lot of people have to realize. God can tell you something. He can tell you that, okay, you need to have this person in your life, your friends, your family, your spouse, whoever. Y'all are meant to be, all of these things. And sometimes if either one of you is not doing God, like letting God's will be done, it can change the whole dynamic of what you thought was supposed to be. That's with a job, anything, because it's free will. It's free will. Like, he's not forcing us to do anything. He just wants us to do certain things, and he wants us to be obedient. But if we're choosing not to do those things, then it's going to change the whole dynamic of what he wants for us. And I think that's a lot of people problem. Like, they stay at a job, or they have people in their life that probably should not be in their life, all because they feel like that's what God wants. And if the thing or like the job or the person or even yourself, if you're not doing as God instructed you to do, it's not going to be of God. And I think that's what a lot of people get sidetracked on. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Like, just God instructing you to do things, and then you basically, you saying you're doing what God is instructing you to do, this, that, and the other, but you sometimes we're not, and I'm guilty of it. I'm not just saying this to you guys. I forgot to do this because I'm talking, but I'm not just saying this to you guys. I'm also saying this to myself. But yeah, and I'm just like, God gives me so much confirmation about so many things, about people I should have in my life, people that I shouldn't have in my life, people that's in my life depending on what they do with themselves and how they do things. And I think even me being in people's life, I'm sure some people don't know if I need to be in their life or not too. Like, it's it's something that we really have to ask God about and make sure we're being obedient. It can be very, very hard. Like, for me, It goes all the way down to the church that I attend. I was going to a whole different church, and God basically just instructed me. Well, first of all, I was at the Potter's house. Anybody who knows about the Potter house, it's a mega church, TD Jakes, right? That's where I started at. That's where my journey started at, watching TD Jakes on TV. When I say every Sunday and Wednesday, that's what I did. I did Bible study. I wasn't really forcing the children to watch it with me. I was just kind of watching as I was cleaning up every Sunday. And then on Wednesdays, it just started moving to where I wanted to also watch it on Wednesdays. So I started doing that as well. And then I started just attending the other courses that they would have during the week. And that's where God was leading me. That's where God led me to be in that season, because then it went from, okay, I'm going online, to no, I need to figure out how I can go in person. So I never forget, it was Mother's Day weekend, and I had my mom's car. I don't know why I had a car. I think I had something I had to do. But I had her car, and she was like, I was going to bring it back to her after church, and she messaged me, and she was like, no, don't bring the car back. I'm not even going to go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Just go ahead and keep it or whatnot. And I was like, oh, my goodness, Mama, thank you so much. I'm going to put y'all this way now for now. But I was like, oh, my goodness, Mama, you just blessed me. Thank you so much, because I'm gonna go to church. I was like, thank you. So well, I was gonna take the car. I was gonna take the car back on Saturday, and she said that I could keep it for a few more days. So that's how I was like, oh, you bless me. I get to go to church. Thank you. That's the best. She had told me, well, I'm not gonna be able to get you nothing for Mother's Day, all of these things. She wasn't gonna be able to give me nothing. I don't have the camera on me because now I'm getting ready for my day, y'all. I'm not gonna be able to get you nothing. And I was like, shoot, I'm gonna be able to go to church. That's the best gift. So I was really, really, really excited about that, just being able to go to church. So I went to the Potter's house. It was me and my two youngest babies. We went, and when I tell y'all, I loved it. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, this is amazing. So, okay. So I went, I enjoyed it, and I was like, I have to go back. Like, this is something that I really want to do. So I just started making it a priority that I could go on Sundays. Didn't care about Wednesdays. Wednesdays I could still do the whole logging in thing. I was fine with that. But I wanted to just go sit in Dolores' house, even though I know it's not mandatory. It's not something that you just have to do. Like, you don't have to go into his house to fellowship with him and have a relationship with him, right? You can do it from wherever you're at. Some people feel different about it, but where I'm at, I'm a living testimony that you can definitely fellowship with God and have a relationship with him outside of going to his to a church house. So did that, and I went for a few Sundays. And I remember, if I remember correctly, the last Sunday that I went, my oldest daughter actually went. And she drove us. It was really, really nice. And they had a little event or something afterwards. So we stayed after for that. And it was pretty nice as well. And I just ended up don't even know if I told y'all this story before. I can't remember. But what happened was someone passed away, and the reverend that did the eulogy, um, he was doing the sermon, just speaking, doing all of what they do, and I'm like, oh wow, who is this person? Because I didn't know him. I didn't know him. I had never saw him before, and this was someone's that passed away. It was my someone in my spouse's family. So I didn't know this person. I don't even know if I knew. I can't remember if I knew it was the cousin or not. I don't even know. But I know later on I knew. Now we're here, y'all. But y'all like, dang, girl. Yeah, y'all all over the place. Y'all will be all right. But, so he was up there, and I'm like, God was speaking to me. Y'all, these are my new best friends. My new house shoes. And I know I'm only 45, or maybe this is where we start transitioning into these at 45. But I love them because they keep my feet so warm. I told y'all my feet be cold all the time. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look for more of these. I'm at an age now where it's not about looks, it's about comfort. But he was up there preaching, and God was kind of saying that I needed to visit the church, at least visit the church. So I figured that out. Long story short, I ended up actually visiting the church, and I never left. I enjoyed it, and I remember talking to the pastor briefly and just letting him know I was a member of Potter's House, but I felt led to visit them, and I just never left. Right? I just never left. So I snack on these when I want to snack because it's like protein and no carbs. And I just never left the church. I never left the church, and I talked to the kids about it. Both of them liked the church as well. So it was like, okay, we'll just keep going. Because at first I was going to kind of alternate Sunday here, Sunday there, Sunday here until I got like the confirmation that I needed. But both of the kids was like, I like it. So I was just like, okay, so we'll do it. We'll just keep going here until we're led to do something otherwise. So I just started going, and that was in, I want to say May. That was in May when I started going to the church, or maybe, you know what? It wasn't May. I'm trying to think. It was Elijah's birthday. So it was June the 2nd. Yeah, because I remember when we went in, like it's his birthday one night, and it was just me and the kids. Nobody else went with us. It wasn't my mom. It was just me and the kids. Nobody else went. We went by ourselves. So yeah, that's what day that was. And I'm somebody, anybody who knows me knows I don't go nowhere by myself because I'm an introvert. I have to be like the old me. If my spouse said he wasn't going with it being his family, I would not have went. I would have been like, well, I'm just not gonna go. But that wasn't the case. I was like, no, we're getting up, we're going. And I went through it. Like, my mama didn't go. Like, nobody went with me but me and the kids that morning. It's a small, very, very small church, because it's the church where sometimes they ask if there's anyone visiting, can you stand up, or and things like that. It's that type of church. And I remember I would always not want to go to those churches because I didn't want to be called out. But it just it was comfortable for me. It was comfortable even with me not knowing anyone, because the first time I went, I didn't know nobody. I didn't know nobody. I didn't know anything about anybody. And this was the first couple of times I literally had no relationship with anyone, even though my spouse's cousin was one of the preachers there. Because I didn't know him either. Like, I had never met him before. I had never had a conversation with him before. So it was just God telling me what I needed to do and me being obedient. And then when Leisha especially was like, she was comfortable because she's an introvert like me. She's very quiet and, whatever. So when she is shy, so when she was comfortable, I was like, okay, let's do this. And she said she preferred it more than the Potter's house. And then Elijah was just kind of like, well, I don't care. He was like, I like the pot. I think he said he liked the Potter's house choir a little bit better because of their song selection, but gradually he was cool with their choir too. I think it was just more of upbeat songs for him, but he ended up loving it as well. So we just started going every Sunday, and God just literally, when he was up there preaching, told me that I needed to visit the church. I didn't know where the church was at. I didn't know was it a Baptist, Pentecostal, holiness. I didn't know any of this. I just knew that he kept saying, you need to visit that church. And I remember just asking, where's the church at? Do y'all know where his church is at? Because I didn't know him. And finally figured out where it was at, walked in, did not know, anything about the church. And I just basically fell in love with the community that they have. It was small. We've grown a lot now. We have grown a lot, so it's way more members now, and I just love that the way that they are. Regardless of what you're going through, you're accepted. I love almost everybody's story in the church, because nobody in the church, well, it's probably some, but a lot of people in the church is coming from real life tragedies where you probably was on drugs before, or you probably did not know how to have a relationship with God, or you were fighting, you've been to jail. Like, that's a lot of testimonies in that church, is how God just restored so many people so you can relate to them. They don't even have to know your story, because when they're up there preaching and they're giving you their story, you can relate. And it's like, wow. And then the senior pastor of the church is a prophet. So I remember the first day that I went, he asked people to stand that just wanted to be delivered. And I just sat there, and he talked to everyone who stood up. Everyone, he said something to them, and then he came back to me, and he just kind of put his hand on my shoulder. And I get emotional every time I talk about this, because people don't know your story. And that's the thing. You can look like something on the outside and be something totally different on the inside. So when he touched my shoulder and he looked me dead in my eyes, because I didn't even know his name. I didn't know anything about him. I just happened to walk through his church doors, and he says, you love with everything that you have in you. You love really hard with everything. He said, a lot of times people don't love you the way that you love them. And he's saying this in front of the whole congregation. So you're calling me out, and he said, but God is finna transform your life. Your new life is about to begin. Your old life is your past. Everything you have done there is your past. God is giving you a new life, and starting now. And I'm like, wow. Because he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell him anything about me. Nothing. Like, nothing. He didn't know what was going on in my life, if I was happy, if I was sad. Well, I didn't tell him if I was happy, if I was sad, or any of those things. So, or how I loved people. And I love extremely hard. I love extremely hard, and I pour into people, and I give my all. And a lot of times he's correct. It's not reciprocated. It's not given back to me um, the way that I give it. And I don't expect that, especially now where I'm at in my life. I don't expect for people to do things the way that I do them because we're all different. I don't have any Kleenex in here, so I'm grabbing one of these paper towels. I have to bring some Kleenex in from the garage. That's where I keep my overflow of stuff. But yeah. So it was crazy that he said that in that moment, first time I went to your church, and and he just realized how hard I love, and it's like, dang, yep, you're completely correct. I love extremely hard, and I'm supposed to be setting up for work, but I don't. Let me just do this. But I'm like, yeah, I love extremely hard because I love really hard, and it's a great thing, but it can also cause me to be hurt. It can cause me to be hurt and damaged, right? Because sometimes we tend to issue out that love to the wrong people. And it causes us to be damaged. And that's something else that I'm learning through this process. But he said that, and I was like, oh, wow. Okay, I'm finna start setting up for my day, y'all. Bring y'all down. But now I got that, like now y'all crooked. Like y'all looking over that way when I don't like that. I was gonna leave it like that, but I don't like it. It ain't doing it for me. Let me bring y'all up and do this. Sorry, y'all. Okay, that's a little bit better. What do y'all think? And I do have on shorts. I'm sorry, y'all. But this house shorts. It ain't nothing too, whatchamacallit. But so that happened, and I don't even remember. I think we talked to a couple of people after church and we just left. And I went back the following Sunday. This time my mom came. This time my spouse came, which was his cousin's church. He came, I think it was the second time. I can't even remember. But he came, and I think one of his cousins came. It was a few more people there, right? And it might not have been the second time. It may have been the third time, but I can't remember. But I just know more people started to come, and it just became more of an intimate place for me. And not because people were talking to me, because it was still the same. I still was sitting over there quiet, just kind of listening, but I knew God wanted me there for a reason. He definitely wanted me there. And I'm saying all this to say we have to follow God and what he's instructing us to do, even when we don't know what it was going to look like, because I had no clue what it was going to look like. Is this a big church? Are they going to call me out? Are they going to, what's going to happen? I didn't know anything. I just know that God was instructing me in that moment to go. I went, and kids loved it, especially my youngest. She loved it without talking to anyone, because she didn't. But they were great. When you walk through the doors, I remember when I first walked through, that first time I went, it was just me and my kids. Now I remember, because I asked, I walked in, and one of the, who was it? I think it was Tracy, Sister Tracy. I can't remember if it was Sister Tracy or Sister Nikki. I don't think it was Sister Nikki, because that's his cousin's wife. I think it was Sister Tracy. And I was like, okay, do I have to sit somewhere? She was like, no, wherever you want to sit. So I'm looking, and I just decided, I'm like, well, y'all ask the kids, y'all want to sit right here? They say, yeah, and we sit down that first time. And nothing fancy about the church either. Like it's not a showcase. Like it's not this fancy church. It's just this regular old church where people just fellowshipping with God, having an intimate relationship with God. And you can feel it when you walk through those church doors. If you walk through those church doors and you don't feel anything, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's something like your connection with God is not there, and you need to pray. You need to pray. I encourage anyone, if God is leading you to a church and you go and you feel absolutely nothing, you need to connect with God more, because I definitely felt it. And then my relationship with him wasn't what it is today. Like it definitely was not. It wasn't what it is today. Look, y'all, so cute, right? My best friend ordered it for me. I just love her to death. Okay, but so connect with God is basically what I'm saying. And sometimes when God say people need to be in our life, when he's saying people or things, if you and that person have not surrendered to God, because everybody has free will, they may need to be eliminated, or you may need to be eliminated for their life, from their life, and you cannot take it personal. Like we can't take things personal when our relationship with someone ends because they're choosing to walk in faith, not by sight. And that's even with me. Like people that have backed away from me, I don't take it offensively. Okay, you needed to back away from me for certain reasons. I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope God blesses you abundantly, and I hope your decision was based on what God's will, and not your own. Like that's the new me. And right now, I would just rather, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I want to be around godly people, not worldly people. I can't take it. Like, I can't take all the worldliness. It's overly dramatic and drawn out, and it's based on what worldly people want, what the people in the world want, not what God wants, and it irritates my soul. So that's one of the reasons why I back away from certain people. I do have some friends that are not even some, because I don't have friends like that, associates that are worldly people, and I feed them with a long handle spoon. I'm not talking to them often, definitely not every day, not every week, maybe not even every month, because I know what my limitations are for me. And that's why that's why I had to change the dynamic of things that was going on in my life, in the way I was doing things, so I could get a clear vision. My vision was so cloudy because I had so many things going on that was not of God. And now that now that I have more godly things going on, my vision is getting clearer. It's not crystal clear, but it's clear. For example, my schedule now versus my schedule when I was not as godly. Leisha, you can come in. When I wasn't godly, my schedule was just basically get up, go to work, cook, do laundry, clean, get up, go to work, cook, do laundry, clean, talk to the kids, watch a movie with the kids, go out on a date. Like that's what it was. It was nothing, no kind of positive activity going on, nothing that was molding me and shaping me into something new. And what I mean by that, like nothing I could learn from or grow from. It was just like existing, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, talking on the phone, if I was doing that, and just kind of being, I'm going to say, all over the place. What am I doing? Just kind of being all over the place. It was structured, but it wasn't no mental structure. So I was all over the place, and my anxiety was through the roof because I had no structure. Now, no mental structure. Because I'm a structured person in itself. Anybody who knows me, everything has a place. I like for things to be structured, laid out. I gotta know, but no spiritual structure, no mental structure. So it was chaos in my brain. Once I start building my relationship with God, like I said, every Sunday I knew I had to log in to church at 9 o'clock. I knew on Wednesdays I had to log in at 7. Like it just, and the structure just started beginning. Take notes so you can go back and refer to them. Started my counseling. Okay, you're going to have counseling every Wednesday at 12. Like it was just all of those things. And then you're going to have your spiritual counseling on every other Friday. And it was just like, okay, I'm getting order. I'm getting structure. I'm doing things that can help me grow. So then after that, now where I'm at is I still do my counseling on Wednesdays. I'm knocking on 1 year straight. Even it don't, y'all. And it has gotten tough, trust me, because we're dealing with the childhood trauma. We're dealing with the trauma from past relationship. We're dealing with the trauma from like all this stuff that has happened in my life. And I'm here for it because the old me would definitely run when it got tough. Like, I'm out. I ain't doing it no more. And I'm still here. And me and my counselor, we were talking about it the other day. Like, dang, it's about to be 1 year. It'll be 1 year in November. 1 year. I'm so God. God is so good. And in my spiritual counseling, I was doing it with her. Started around the same time I stopped with her, and I had to shift over to someone else, but I'm still doing that. And then I just also counsel with like sisters from the church when it comes to my spiritual growth and where I need to be. And I'm just here for it. Let me see. So this is my schedule now. Sunday, I go to church every Sunday. I do not miss a Sunday. I think I have missed only one Sunday since I've started going to the Potter's house on Mother's Day. I have missed one Sunday of church, and that was when my spouse's mother struck ill. I missed that Sunday, but I did watch virtually at the hospital. So I do Sundays. And y'all, let's just pray for, like I said, for everybody that's in this situation. I know I just said what I said about her being sick. We just got to pray, and I pray for her daily. Just give God to give her the strength that she needs to do a full recovery. And I'm assuming that has happened. She's in full recovery, and to God be the glory with that. And I'm just going to jump back to what I was saying. Sundays, I go to church. My church service, Monday, I do prayer meet online. Tuesday, I do Bible prayer meet with my church and Bible study with another church online. And then on Wednesdays, I do Bible study with my church online. Thursdays, I think it's every other Thursdays that I meet with the Potter's House members, and we do some type of spiritual counseling, group counseling. I do that like it's every other Thursday, and sometimes it's once a month. On Fridays, I don't do anything but just I'm responsible for making sure I do what I need to do on Fridays. On Saturdays, I am going to start going up to the church on Saturdays when they meet. They have choir rehearsals on Saturday, and then they also do the women's club where they meet and they fellowship together. So I'm also going to start doing that. So literally, I'm pouring God, like God is the priority in my life. Definitely the priority. And I see a drastic difference with me doing that, with me making him a priority. And I'm going to be very transparent with y'all. I want anybody who's in my life permanently and in my life, what's the word? Most of the time, but that's not the word I'm looking for. But in my life, like if you're surrounding me and you're someone who is around me often, God has to be a priority in your life too. And that's going to be a shift of things for me. But God has to definitely be a part of your life too. And what I mean by that is he has to be in your life. Like, I have to know that you're making decisions based on God. Like, I'm tired of all the worldly stuff. I'm over it. I'm over everybody moving the way that looks good to the eye of man. I'm over it. I don't care about any of that no more anymore. I don't. I want friends that we can pray together, and that's how. And I'm gonna have to tell y'all the story about my current best friend. Of course, she does not take the place of Hannah at all. She doesn't take the place of her, but I have to tell y'all the story on how we met. But God placed us in each other's life for a reason at the time that he did. And we constantly say that to each other. We just said that. We talk about it all the time. And we're both very spiritual people. You know, we both worship God. We know God. We're very spiritual, but she's Catholic and I am I'm Pentecostal. But I'm saying all this to say is I just need people in my life that has the same, they're going down the same path as I am. I need somebody who can pray over me. I need to be able to pray over you without you being offended. I don't know. That's just what I need in my life, because I notice with me, I can get thrown off very, very, very easily. Because I tell people all the time, I'm new to this, I ain't true to this, so I can be thrown off and I could, turn into something that I don't want to be and go backwards. And so I know I just have to limit myself with certain things that with certain things and certain people, it have to be a limit to it. And that's not to be mean to anyone or judge anyone. It's just what I need in my life. And I think people that are more worldly, they take offense. Come in, sweetheart. But they take offense when you back away from them because they're not what you need in your life, right? So they take offense to it. Good morning, Benji. They take offense to it because you know that they're not healthy and you choose to back away. And sometimes it's not even that they're not healthy for you. Sometimes you can be not healthy for a person too. Like, it can definitely be the other way around and you're like, oh no, this is not good. I shouldn't be in this person's life because I'm doing more damage to them than good. And that's something else that we have to look at and we have to evaluate ourselves with. Sometimes it's not the other person. It's strictly just us. It's us. And everybody's not meant to be around each other or with each other. And that's completely okay. But it's about identifying that and not being offended when somebody say, oh, well, you're a little bit too much for me. Because I can be too much for people. And I used to get offended by it. Like, I need people in my life who is going to love the fact that I love to learn. I'm that chick. Like, you can't tell me that the sky is blue and I feel like it's another color and I just go with it because you say it. That's not me. I'm going to do my research. I also have always told my kids that even with the stuff that I tell you, do your research. Don't believe what men tell you. You always research it on your own and see if it's facts. Don't believe what everybody tell you. And some people get offended by that. I've had people get offended because they say one thing and I'm like, I don't know. That makes me think. Let me do my research to see. And then they're mad because I did research. But why are you mad because of that? Because I just don't fall for anything. No, I'm going to do my research. And I just need people in my life who, that's one thing that they're like, oh girl, I'm glad, girl, I like that about you because it's me. Or I ask a lot of questions because, like I said, I like to do my research. So I'm someone who's going to ask questions. I'm not just going to say, okay. Most of the time, if I'm just saying, okay, it's because I already know you're somebody that I can't ask questions to. So it doesn't make sense for me to ask you questions and then we end up upset. I'm past that point in my life. I'm not going to be upset with nobody. I'm not wasting the energy. I am 45 as of July the 15th. I'm past that stage in my life. If we can't get along and have a productive conversation that we don't agree on in a positive way, I don't need you in my life. I'm not going back and forth with anybody anymore. The last time I went back and forth with somebody was on August, it was the beginning of August the 5th, I think. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going back and forth arguing with nobody. And I actually caught myself real quick with that. I think I did it for all of 2 minutes and I was like, you know what? It ain't even worth it. And before, I would be going back and forth for hours and texting long messages and, or either screaming and cursing and doing all that crazy stuff. I am too old for that. And God has me covered. And I am one of his children that is told to obey him. So I'm not doing all of that with nobody. Can you bring me a remote for tripod? Mm-hmm. But I'm not doing that with anyone anymore. It's just too draining. And I'm just at a different space in my life. And like I said, I haven't always been this person. I definitely has not. This has been a gradual change for me. I have been that person that will flip out, be mad, angry, upset, and not know how to handle conflict. And that's no longer me. I'm not perfect, but I know how to handle conflict a lot better. And I just want people in my life that know how to handle conflict a lot better. I don't want people in my life who gets mad at the drop of a dime. I don't have time for it. I don't have the energy for it. I have other things that I want to do with my life. Point blank, period. I'm not going to be arguing with you about what color the shoes was when I went to the movies or who said what about the food. All of the petty and cattiness that comes along with some of the debates. Not even the debates, because the debate is positive. But the arguments that we have, that worldly people, let me rephrase that, worldly people have, is ridiculous. When I sit back and I think about some of the conversations and the arguments that I had, it's like, you was really arguing about who left a cup on the counter? You were really arguing about just crazy stuff. And people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 30s are still doing this mess. And they think it's okay. Why? Because they're worldly people. Are not talking to someone for months and years at a time because of something so petty. And life is too short for it. And you might think, oh, if this person was to leave, I ain't gonna care, and this, that, and other. Yes, you will care. Stop being angry and upset with people over things that are petty that you have no control over. If someone say they don't like your dress, there's no reason for you to go 10 years without talking to them. They don't like it. It's their opinion. It's their opinion. They're entitled to it. Move forward. Like, life is too short. And is it honoring God when you're doing those things? When you're holding on and you're not letting go of things, is it honoring God? And also holding people past against them. If someone has changed, you should not still be hovering over what they did in their past. That's something else that's so frustrating and irritating. Don't hold my past against me, especially if I'm not doing it in this moment. And like I said, the last time I had a combative argument where I was going back and forth with somebody was on August the 5th. And it lasted all of maybe 2 minutes before I cut it off and was like, you know what? I'm not doing this with you. I wish you well, whatever it is you want to do. That was the last time. And to some, y'all might be like, oh, that was just a minute ago. But for me, that's growth. Because like I said, I'm learning and I'm going through the process, but it had been a while. I had changed drastically before then, but I would be triggered by certain people, right? But I'm saying all this to say, guys, if you have people in your life that you know God wants in your life, or if you're in someone's life because you feel like God wants you there, if you or them is not doing what God is instructing you to do, it's not going to work. And anybody who blocks your relationship with God, anyone, I don't care if you feel like they should be there, it's not going to work. No one should be blocking your relationship with God. No one. Making excuses why you can't go to church, making excuses about how you used to do this and now you're not doing it no more. So now you think you better than and you just need to start back doing it. All of that stuff. Those are people that you don't need in your life. They're blocking your blessing from God. You need godly people in your life. Not people that's just like holier than thou and never commit any sin and don't do any wrong, because that'll never happen. That will never happen, because everyone commits sin. Everybody's going to go backwards every now and then. But it's about them having God in their life more than they have worldly things in their life. Godly things more than worldly things. If they don't, it's not going to be a positive outcome. Point blank, period. It's not going to be a positive outcome. And you have to hold yourself accountable. And what I mean by that is owning up to what you have done. If you're trying to work something out with someone, it's accountability. If you're pointing a finger more at another person or more at other people than yourself, you're not holding yourself accountable. I'm going to say it again. If you are pointing the finger at other people more than you're pointing it at yourself, you're not holding yourself accountable. And let me tell you what that looks like. Instead of saying, what could they have done different? What could I have done different? That's one of the things that I had to definitely change. I'm not even focused on what this person did, what she did, what he did, or what they said. I'm focused on what I did in the situation and what I could have done different. I don't even care what they did. If you lied on me, God bless your soul. I bless you. I'm moving forward. I forgive you if you lied on me. If you stretch the truth. And what I mean by stretch the truth, I say one thing and then you stretch it and turn that truth into a lie. That has happened a lot to me recently, and I'm here for it. I'm not. I bless your soul. I bless you. I bless you. I bless you. I speak nothing but blessings upon you, because I'm not holding on to anything. I can see you and pray for you and love on you like nothing ever happened at this point in my life. And some may not understand it, and that's okay. But that's because God has grabbed a hold of me. And that's where I'm at. I don't care. I'm not defending myself about what nobody said. I'm not going back and telling somebody, well, they said this and you said. But my whole thing is, and I have said this several times, if someone has came to you and told you that I said anything about you, what were they doing? Why was I comfortable? That's a question you need to ask yourself. And that's something that I have learned. If somebody comes to me and say what someone else said about me, I'm looking at the person that came and said they said it. What were you saying while they was talking? Because if you were defending me and cutting it off, you wouldn't have much to tell me. You might have, girl, she said, and I let her know right then and there. No, you ain't doing that because that's not her. But if you can just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about what someone said about a person, if someone can do that, then you must remember, you must think. Let's just use our brain, common sense. So if she telling me that he said this, what was she saying while he was saying it? Because she talking to me about 30 minutes, and I know he just wasn't sitting there, or vice versa, wasn't just sitting there just listening. You had to be saying something because they were comfortable, right? But you move on from it and you grow from it, and all you do is pray for growth with that person. And sometimes it could be that they wasn't even meaning to be messy. Sometimes it just kind of happened. Their mouth just vomits out stuff, right? But I felt led to talk about that today. Holding yourself accountable, having a relationship with God where you know, excuse me, where you know when he wants people in your life, but if they're not putting God at the top, the middle, and the foot, excuse me, it's not going to work out, and you may need to release that person. And sometimes it doesn't mean that you have to release them permanently. You may just have to release them until they grow a stronger relationship with God. And sometimes you releasing them can cause that to happen. But yeah, that's all that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And it's Friday. Happy Friday. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. And remember to follow God's path. Go down his road so he can instruct you all the way. And sometimes it's not easy. It can be a struggle, but it's a lot better than taking the road on your own. I pray for nothing but blessings and mental health, healthiness, and physical health and spiritual growth upon everyone who watches my channel. And remember, God loves you when you feel no one else does. God definitely loves you, and he forgives you for everything that you have ever done. So we must do the same and forgive others for what they have done to us, to wrong us, so we can continue to be blessed abundantly by God. And just serve him to the best of your ability. And everybody's journey looks different when it comes to God. So never expect someone's journey to look the same as yours. Never talk down on someone or put expectations on them that you can feel. They might not be realistic for that person, but you do want to make sure that they have a healthy relationship with God. And that's doing more godly things than worldly things. Again, I love you guys, and have a great weekend, and stay prayed up. Stay prayed up in the world today. We really do need it. Pray for me, pray for my family, my children, and everyone who's involved with the struggle, the challenges that we're facing right now. I love you guys.